The AIA Singapore Premier League has once again journeyed to the east, to our Tampines hub, for a much-anticipated clash between Tampines Rovers and the champions and league leaders Lion City Sailors, who are looking to make 6 wins in a row at a venue where their opponents are in strong form. It's match week 10, and we've already had one fixture. Rio Nishiguchi with a well-taken first-half goal for Tanjong Pagar United against Balestier Khalsa, and the Friday night fixture took his side into third place in the table. Today we're at our Tampines hub, and then tomorrow we have Geylang International against Hougang United. But this is where it's at. This is the one that really matters right now, as it's first against fourth for the time being. It's tight in the pack that's looking to chase down the champions, and Tampines Rovers will have their sights on second place, will have their sights on being seen as the best of the rest, maybe, when it comes to competing with the might of Lion City Sailors. Well, welcome to our Tampines hub, where I'm joined by Roshan Rai. Belatedly, we'll bring you this game because there was lightning around earlier on here on the East Coast, and as a result of that, it meant that the game has been delayed by some 1 hour and 15 minutes. We'll be kicking off in just under 30 minutes from right now. Roshan, let's start off first of all by saying that, delay aside, it's only served really to build the anticipation. Is this the most appealing fixture you could possibly have right now in the AIA Singapore Premier League?
Yes, for a number of reasons. One being the quality on display both these sides have, and the tactical battle between the two coaches. Also the fact that I think Tampines, the form that they're showing right now, they look like closest challengers to Lion City Sailors for that SPL title. And also whether we get a reaction from Lion City Sailors players after what Kim Do-hoon said about them after the last game against Geylang. Yeah,
we're going to come back to that later on. We'll be hearing from Kim Do-hoon, who's been trying to motivate his side by asking them to be more professional. But we'll come back to that, as I said. Let's get into the appealing fixture that this is. Now, not since they first met have Tampines Rovers actually been able to beat Lion City Sailors, which means if you look back in recent times, there were a lot of goals. There was a chastening 6-1 thumping at this very ground. There was a 4-1 defeat before that, a 3-3 before that. But then the most recent fixture in round 1 of this season, Roshan, really bucked the trend, because that was a tight 1-0 on the scoreline, but actually this was a game dominated by the away side at Jalan
It was Tampines Rovers who should have won this comfortably, and we saw lots of goals in terms of the previous result. There should have been lots of goals in this one as well, and that's how good Tampines Rovers were. They created chance after chance, couldn't put those opportunities away. Lion City Sailors got a penalty here. It's a bit of a question mark for me about whether it should have been a penalty. It was given. Kim Shin-hook steps up and takes it. But there were plenty of opportunities for Tampines, even in the second half, when they had this goal wrongly disallowed for offside. There was an apology after that, but really they should have come away with not just a point. I don't think they deserve just a draw. They should have come away with all 3. What was so impressive was the way they dominated this game against Lion City Sailors with that Tampines side in terms of the young players that they have.
Yeah.
But they weren't afraid to play. They gave it all they could have gotten here, and they took the game to the Sailors.
And of course, that was exciting for everybody that was wondering where the challenge might come from for Lion City Sailors. Now, one of the reasons behind a strong run of form for this Tampines side, remember they've been on an unbeaten run since that defeat, is the form of their leading man, their striker Boris Kopitovic, who tops the goal-scoring charts right now. And a little bit earlier on, down on the pitch at our Tampines hub, he was handed his Player of the Month award for April. This is a guy who's scored now in 6 consecutive matches, and quite frankly, he looks like scoring every time he sets foot on any pitch around Singapore. His contrast with Kim Shin-hook is obviously something that we will focus on. Kim Shin-hook won't be starting, incidentally, for Lion City Sailors today, but it won't stop us looking at a comparison. Simple question: who would you rather have in your side based on this and other factors?
Yeah, at this point I probably have Boris Kopitovic ahead of Kim Shin-hook. And the goal numbers are, yeah, sure, fantastic. 12 goals to 9, 3 assists as well for Kopitovic. But I think what Kopitovic has is more mobility than Kim Shin-hook, his ability to bring others into play as well. But also, you know, he's not just a penalty box player, which Kim Shin-hook has become for Lion City Sailors. He's also a player who can create opportunities of his own and score from low-quality chances. And this is what I mean by scoring from low-quality chances. That is a very difficult angle.
Yeah, I'd like to see the XG on that one.
Yeah, probably really, really low. But he's able to show his quality and his confidence and put those away. I spoke to him recently as well, and he said that it's down to the fact that he's been working a lot harder on finishing after training with the coaching staff. They spend about 30-45 minutes at the end of their usual training sessions, and they work on these things, finishing in the area, but also with his free kicks as well. And yeah, look, he's he's come up recently to say as well that usually it's Mehmedovic or Nakamura to step up to take it, but he's been in such great form, he feels really confident, and he believes that every time he takes a shot, there's a good chance he's going to end up in the back of the net.
What's fascinating is the contrast in styles on show today, because Kabitovic is always well fed by a battery of supporting players from midfield. If we look at the opposition today, you'd argue that with the exception maybe of Diego Lopez, who's really stepped up this season, Song Woo-young has turned into a hugely important player for Lion City Sailors. What is it about his mobility, maybe his confidence in front of goal, that's made such a difference for them?
Yeah, Song, I think, comes into the side when they need mobility up front in those forward positions. He's got a wonderful engine, great work rate, quick with the ball as well. A very different profile of player. Kim Shin-wook, not in the lineup. Song Woo-young comes in, and I think that points us towards what the tactical battle is going to be, in the sense that I think the Lion City Sailors are going to look to try and press and be aggressive and try and close Tampines down and not allow them to develop any sort of rhythm in possession, and Song gives them that. He gives them that ability and the legs and the stamina to press from the front.
Yeah.
And also he's a threat in those counter-attacking situations, which is something they will look to try and exploit, especially with Lestien on the left-hand side.
Of course, Song Woo-young, very much a fixture in the Singapore national team, but another player we'd like to focus on is one who really lit up that first half at Jalan Besar when these two sides met earlier this season. And that's Taufik Suparno, who's been leading the way in terms of goals from local strikers. However, he scored 3 in his first 3 this season, but has dipped a little bit since then. When he's at his best, what is it about him that produces the form that led to him being called up by the national team for that great start to the season?
Yeah, look, I think that you brought up the point that he hasn't scored in his last 5 matches in the SPL, and that's a bit of a concern. But with the start that he had, playing more in the starting lineup, he started all 8 games for Tampines Rovers coming into this one, whereas last season he only started 3 of their 20 matches in the SPL. So he's obviously worked on a few things in terms of his qualities and getting into these goal-scoring positions. He scored 6 goals last season as well. He knows where to be in those areas. And at times when he was coming in last season, he was playing more in a central role. This time around, this campaign, I think he's more on the wide on the left-hand side. And then he makes runs into the area to contribute in those positions. But yeah, I don't think it's too much of a concern. I don't think it's something to be really concerned about if you're Tampines Rovers or if you're Taufik Suparno. He's halfway towards his 6 goals from last season's campaign. And as long as Kabitovic is banging them in for fun, Taufik Suparno gives opposition defenders something else to think about as well with his pace, getting in behind the opposition defense.
Roshan, I mean, the other thing we should do just before we take a little bit of a break is talk about the reason why this is so appealing, in that Kevin Lee's Tampines side actually have a number of attacking threats. We talk about Kabitovic's goals, highlighted a couple of players already. They will probe and prompt from just about anywhere across the front line, won't they?
They will, and there are side Tampines who like to have possession. They like to play out from the back, and if you take a look at some of their numbers as well across the campaign, they boss possession in the majority of their matches. I think something like 60% for the Stags. That's because they have good technical quality across the pitch, but it's also the way Gavin Lee wants them to play. He wants to encourage them to play out from the back. And that he feels that that's the best way for them to create opportunities and to win matches, to sometimes draw the opposition out towards them before exploiting spaces in behind. They've got really good rotations in those central areas, very good technical quality in the midfield that helps them to retain possession and to progress the ball through the lines.
Great job of explaining another reason why this is such an appealing match. The other side of this one, of course, is what's in their heads for Lion City Sailors today. We know they've got the quality in their roster, no denying that, but their coaches question their application. We'll be hearing from him and also his opposite number when we come back, as we build up to a game that really promises a contrast in styles, but also plenty of vocal support. They've been queuing around the block to get into our Tampines hub for this one. This is going to be loud when it kicks off. Our build-up continues after this.
Ladies and gentlemen, here are
It's somewhat belated, but it's a game to savour in the AIA Singapore Premier League today. Two sides with their designs on the title. Roshan's with me today, and he mentioned this earlier on. Roshan, quickly jump in here and have a look at these stats. What is it about this that impresses you from the Tampines Rovers point of view? These are season stats.
Yeah, and look, Tampines Rovers, you look at those numbers on the left-hand side there, all first, ranked first in the Singapore Premier League. And I want to give them some credit because I think the job that Gavin and Tampines Rovers, the coaching staff and the club, they've done this season so far has been absolutely outstanding. The young players, when you look at their team, in terms of resources compared to the Lion City Sailors, they should be nowhere near the Sailors. But the fact that they are there, they're challenging, and they play such wonderful, eye-catching and attractive style of football is great to see. So, you know, they're one of my favorite sides to watch at the moment.
Excellent. Well, now they have to address the, I suppose, the toughest challenge in Singapore football right now. Let's get to the lineup, starting off with Tampines Rovers, because Gavin Lee, you mentioned young players, and obviously he's welcoming back young players from Singapore's SEA Games exploits here. That impacts his starting lineup, right?
Yeah, two changes from the last time they were in action. Ryan Sanizal coming back into the side after his exploits at the SEA Games. You've got Irwan Shah coming into the lineup as well. Listen, this was a lineup that I thought they were going to go with in terms of the formation with the three at the back. But I've just had a look at their warm-ups, and it looks like it might be four at the back instead, with Adam Rifdi playing as right back. Now, he's got the capacity to play in central defense and to play at right back as well. So it's a bit of a question mark in terms of when I saw the lineup and how they set up. Irwan Shah, I think, is going to actually move towards left back. Amirul comes into central midfield alongside Kyoga Nakamura and Zahruddin Mehmanovic, and then you've got that front three.
Nothing wrong with that front five, in fact, really, when you consider what they've got quality-wise coming through from midfield. The real talking point here, and we'll get into the motivation and the mental state of Lion City Sailors after they're dressing down by their coach in just a moment. But first of all, let's talk about the team that Kim Do-hoon has gone for. Given the wealth of resources available to him, there are always changes for this side. It's always significant when he changes things up top, and that is the big, very tall absence of Kim Shin-wook, right?
Yeah, with Kim Shin-wook, it's strange. He's been scoring all those goals, but I don't think he's been playing particularly well, especially with linking up with his teammates. And I think Song gives them a bit more mobility in those forward positions. And I mentioned him coming in into that forward line, gives them that opportunity to press aggressively as well. 5 changes in that lineup. It was coming to the likes of Gabriel Kwak, Faris Ramli, coming into the side. Noor Adam as well, I think, makes a welcome return to the team at left back. Hafiz Noor at right back. So they've got a lot of speed in those fullback positions with Hafiz and Noor Adam, and 2 players who like to get forward and support the attack as well. It's a good-looking Lion City Sailor side. What can you say? I mean, great squad, but it's just about whether...
Well, what we can say, and we'll come back to Coach Kim's comments in a moment, because we will hear from him. Just before we get to that one, let's park motivation for the time being. Let's just look at this as a football match. Those two sides matched up against each other. What kind of a game do we get?
I think it's going to be fascinating if it is indeed a 4 at the back with Adam Rifdi coming up against Maxime Lestien. He's got a big test ahead of him, and the Tampines have got to figure out a way of sort of helping him, that young man, 18 years of age, up against Lestien. They've got to figure out a way of doubling up on that side of the pitch as well, because I think that's an area that the Lion City Sailors will definitely look to try and exploit.
So let's not forget that in the wake of their last outing, a lackluster victory over Geylang, it was their coach Kim Do-hoon who questioned their application of professionalism. In a moment, we'll be hearing from him. But first up, the home coach of Tampines Rovers, Gavin Lee.
Gavin, first up, could you share with us how you're lining up against the Sailors today?
Yeah, I think we had to make a few changes. I think like Ong is still feeling the effects of COVID. We've still got a few players out of COVID, so we just have to make a few adjustments. But you know, this is a good opportunity for everybody to contribute towards the team's intention. So excited to see how we go.
Okay, your side had a week's break. What did you work on with the team, and how's preparation for this evening's game going to be?
Yeah, I think we had 2 weeks preparation. Wasn't good for the momentum, but you know, we were driven with the fact that we are all preparing very, very hard to get the 3 points from Sailors today.
Okay, the last encounter between your side and the Sailors was very eventful. How have you used that game to motivate the boys for tonight?
Now, what happened in the past is in the past. We look at the future, and all we care about is the 95 minutes coming up, and that's enough motivation for the whole team.
Okay, defensively, what have your instructions been to neutralize the threat of the likes of Shin-wook and Lestien?
Yeah, so Shin-wook isn't starting, Faris Ramli is starting, so again, I think it doesn't change. We have to put pressure up high, cut the supply well, and you know, deal with their direct balls when they do come.
Okay. Coach Kim, in the last week, we've questioned the attitude of your team. How have they responded in training ahead of tonight?
I share with my boys saying that, we are a team that needs a better preparation, and we are a team that needs to be professional on the field while we are training as well. So I told the boys that we have to stay focused, we have to be prepared well in all aspects of the game, including getting the ball behind the net. I checked that we are all on the same page, that this year as a Sailors, we have to prove ourselves on the pitch. So they were all on the same page, and I think we had a good preparation building up to tonight's match.
Tampines are a side that love to keep the ball. What will your strategy be to put them under pressure?
They're a team that likes to keep possession, so for us it's not to allow them to have too much possession. So for us, it's about how quickly we can take the ball back and how quickly we can play our football. So the speed of the attack, defensive and offensive transition will be key today. So for us, it's do what we can do and stop the opponent, whatever they can do, appear on the pitch tonight.
Your defense will come up against the league's top scorer in the form of Boris. What do you think will be key to stop him?
We have top defenders like Pedro and Harry, so it's not a big concern. But obviously, we have to be strong and we have to be solid, and especially don't lose on one-on-one. But obviously, if we don't allow the ball to get to his feet, then obviously we're gonna have a lot more chances. So, it'll be a good matchup. But let's see what happens.
So Kim Do-hoon not backing away from his comments last week. And remember, he said of his team after that pretty lackluster win against Geylang that we let ourselves down and this is not acceptable. Now, Roshan, when I first heard that, I thought, he's going to do that this season. He's going to try and keep the squad G'd up and it's just a gambit. But then I actually looked in detail at what he said. He accused them of lacking professionalism. So how do they react to that starting here today?
They have to react. I mean, it's interesting that he came out publicly to say that he was quite right to do it with the performances that they put up. It's not been good enough for a team of that sort of quality and what we expect from them. So it's great to see from Kim Do-hoon. And to be fair to him, it wasn't just the players he hammered. He talked about himself as well and whether he could bring out the best of these guys. Listen, the players at the Lion City Sailors will have to understand and have to know and have to be grateful as well for the fact that they're playing for a club here that absolutely takes care of them. They are well paid, they're well taken care of. This is a wonderful project in Singapore football. You're not going to get this anywhere else. So put up or leave. And I think that's a strong message being sent by Kim Do-hoon to the guys. And we've got to see a performance here to show that they've listened to the coach and they worked on whatever it is in training.
So we've seen the lightning. Will we see the fireworks? That's my question here. Because if this lot turn it on, we know they're capable of doing something spectacular. Remember, they are playing a side that hasn't kept a clean sheet this season. So do Lion City Sailors rip in to Tampines once again, as we've seen them do at this ground not that long ago?
Yep. I think we see a response from them. At the same time, I'm a little bit wary to say they go on and score a few goals against Tampines because...
No, because I saw Express, and I know you've tipped Tampines to win this one.
I picked Tampines to win this because I think they're a confident team. I think they know that they can go out and get a result against anyone in the league. And I think they're not going to be afraid to show how good they are in this game against Sailors. It's just whether they can take the opportunities when they come.
Well, that all adds up to an amazing game of football in prospect here. The game that I think you'd want to watch, particularly as a neutral following the AIA Singapore Premier League. We've had to wait for this one. The anticipation has been built up and we are nearly there, nearly at kickoff in a game that promises so much. Roshan will be back with Shazad Haq for commentary in just a moment. This is the big one. This is Tampines Rovers against Lion City Sailors.
Started playing football, I would hone my skills on the streets of Singapore. Now with Fundy rules, you can follow my footsteps. We are dividing Singapore into 5 zones, North, South, East, West and Central. From 30th May to 12th June, form a team of 4 and own your streets. For more information, log on to fundyrules.sg. I'll be there, will you?
to you from our Tampines hub. This evening it's the AIA Singapore Premier League here. In fact, the weekend we'll have two matches here. The first one, Tampines Rovers versus Lion City Sailors. A massive game in the SPL campaign. And in the context of this season, well, you'll see just in a short while why this match will matter so much in the context of the table and how things will stand. And this is why. Lion City Sailors at the moment are 7 points clear of Tampines Rovers, though the Rovers have got a game in hand. Now, they will still have that game in hand tonight. If they can win that, they will only be 4 points behind with that match still to play. So a vital match here really for Rovers if they have any ambitions of getting that title from Lion City Sailors, who of course were the pre-season favourites. A lot at stake here in this one, and the last time these two sides played, what a superb game of football we had at Jalan Besar Stadium, one in which the Rovers will feel they certainly should have come out with something other than a 1-0 defeat. And they will think today, if they can produce anything like the form that they showed the last time out, then they have got a real opportunity here. The fans expectant. They've been here a long while, by the way, and just to remind everyone, we have had a long wait because of the storm that we had. The lightning warning system was on a long time ago, way before 5 o'clock. The fans have been very, very patient. There was big queues beforehand. Of course, now with the regulations, we can have full capacity in all the SPL venues, which is great news, of course, for everyone. And yeah, they're certainly looking forward to what will be, hopefully, more champagne football, because Roshan Rai, who's here with us now in the commentary position, we really enjoyed the last time these two sides played. And Tampines Rovers, they probably feel a little bit aggrieved by that one.
Yeah, they would have. But look, they'll look back at it and they'll think about the performance that they put out against the Sailors in that game. And really, I mean, we've spoken about it at the time as well. I think there was a game that they should have won and not even gotten a point from, not even a draw from. They should have won. They deserved to win that game. Unfortunately, couldn't finish off their chances and take those opportunities. But I thought they really dominated the Lion City Sailors. And the concern for the Sailors coming into this one is that there have been a couple of games this season where they have been dominated, which is not something you expect from a side of this sort of quality. So for Tampines Rovers, they look to try and right that wrong in a sense, you know, show that they have learned lessons from that last game and over the last few weeks or so. They will create chances, and whether they can put those away and really punish the Sailors in this one, I mean, that's going to be the one of the key things from this match.
One thing that we certainly really enjoyed watching was how Taufik Suparno was terrorizing, at that time, Tajeli Salamat. He was playing on the left-hand side, and Tajeli, of course, is the right back. And the runs he was making, the combination with Boris Kopitovic, they were really stretching that Lion City Sailors defense, weren't they?
Yeah, they were. He's got great pace down that left-hand side of the attack, Taufik Suparno. And he gets into good positions in the box as well. Yeah, he hasn't scored in his last 5 matches in the Singapore Premier League, but he's still a threat in terms of his movement in behind the forward line, how he in behind the opposition defensive line, and how he sort of has this combination with Kopitovic, his give and goes, his 1-2s in behind and to receive and drive into the area again. So they have the players on the pitch to cause problems, Tampines Rovers. They certainly do. You've got technicians in midfield, the likes of Kyoga Nakamura, Zerudin Mehmedovic, Taufik with his pace in those forward areas. Yasser doesn't have the pace, but he's such an intelligent player, very experienced, and knows how to link the play for Tampines. And of course, Kopitovic up front with his 12 goals. 11 goals in his last 6 matches in the Singapore Premier League. I mean, that's an outstanding goal-scoring record coming into this game. So they should be full of confidence, you know, knowing that they can do the job against this Lion City Sailors side, a star-studded Lion City Sailors lineup.
It's interesting because, of course, everyone talks about the superlatives are endless, aren't they, when you talk about Lion City Sailors. But at the moment, their opponents today have outscored them and played a game less.
And in terms of the metrics as well, and some of the numbers that Tampines have put up, in terms of the possession, in terms of chance conversion, challenges won, Tampines Rovers are first in the league in those terms, in terms of those metrics. So you'd expect to see the Lion City Sailors be that team.
Yeah.
And the fact that that hasn't been the case, is a cause for concern, and we've seen that reaction from Kim Do-hoon after the game against Geylang. He felt the need to speak out publicly about his players.
Ahmad Akasha in charge of this one. Roniko and Chan Kwok Wai, the assistants, and the fourth official, Lim Kok Keng. I mean, we'll come back to that in a minute, because we'll just go to that Geylang game. They laboured against a team that's struggling at the moment in the SPL. And they had a little bit of a shaky performance defensively against Hougang United as well. We'll come to that in just a short while. But we'll look at Tampines Rovers first, and they make two changes. Ryan Sanizal is back from the SEA Games, and he is straight back into the side along with Irwan Shah, which means that Firdaus Kasman takes a break, and there's no place for Ong Yuan. Largely fit squad as well, that's good news. Irfan Najib is also back in the squad. For Lion City Sailors, they have Nur Adam Abdullah and Saiful Akbar back in the fold. And Nur Adam is straight back in, while Saifullah is on the bench. They also have dropped Amirul Adli, Anu Kim Shin-wook and Ikram Rifki. No place for Anaki Ismit. So a total of 5 changes for Lion City Sailors. Shadan Sulaiman, Hafiz Noor, Gabriel Kwak, Faris Ramli join Nur Adam in the starting lineup today. Well, he can afford to shuffle the pack, and Gavin Lee will be quietly confident, perhaps. Things are going quite well at the moment for his Tampines Rovers side, and we're going to see his opposite number, Kim Do-hoon. Let's talk about what he said, Roshan. He didn't hold back, was kind of really quite public about his thoughts.
Yeah, you know, you question the professionalism of the players in terms of their willingness to want to improve, and you know, he said slammed himself in a sense, but really I think he's quite right to say those things about his team, and the team needs to respond, because there's no other project like this in Singapore football.
Sure.
You know, it's a once-in-a-career kind of opportunities, the way things stand across the league at the moment. If you're playing for the Lion City Sailors, you should be thanking your lucky stars. You should be grateful for what you've been given.
And not screwing that up, basically.
Absolutely right. And not doing anything to mess that up, and not being, you know, silly enough to lose that opportunity. You're not going to get this anywhere else at the moment. That's the way things stand in the league. So
you don't look a gift horse in the mouth, effectively, right?
And the way they are treated, the way they are paid, the resources in the club, they need a response. They need to show that they are by far Singapore's best team. You know, we haven't. Yeah, the results show that in terms of the top of the league. They've got a pretty decent cushion between themselves and some of the other sides. But look at the performances. They haven't been there. They haven't been good enough for a side of that quality.
Well, let's see how Lion City Sailors respond today. They can often have a galvanizing effect. It could also go the other way as well. Well, that is not great from Adam Rifti, who, by the way, has a huge task on hand today, because we've seen right backs being terrorized. I'm not sure what else to describe it as, Roshan, at the moment, but they are really having a torrid time against Maxime Lestienne.
Yeah, he's in for a big challenge in these 90 minutes, 95 minutes or so, up against Maxime Lestienne. Adam Rifti just turned 18, I think, recently. Yeah. He was playing in central defense for Tampines at times this season. He's moved out to right back here. They've gone with a back four. Yeah, they're going to... He's up for a big challenge against Lestienne, and they're going to have to try and figure out a way to help him out as well in those areas.
Here's Gabriel Kwak in the starting lineup today. Nur Adam as well. 2 of the 5 changes I mentioned. Haris Harun looked up. Haris Harun stopped in his tracks. Interesting to see that Hafiz Noor, Roshan, is the starting fullback here. Something he has had to get used to really this season, hasn't he?
Yeah, a bit of adaptation as well in that Tampines side in terms of You talk about adaptation. Taufik is playing on the right-hand side. Normally comes in off the left of that front three. So there have been a few changes in that lineup. Kevin touched on that in terms of players just coming back from COVID. So he's had to address a few issues within the squad. And I wonder if at times as well, with Amirul playing on the left-hand side, whether in those defensive phases he will just drop off a little bit deeper, and then that back four can then shift into a back five when Lion City Sailors are in possession.
Good pace there from Taufik. Couldn't quite get to the ball. Nice touch on there from Song Wei-Yong. Now Maxime Lestienne. Slipped it back to him by Song.
Almost straight away you see the pace and the movement of Lestienne off the ball.
Diego Lopez. To get at the end of it. Shot is smashed by Shadan.
Yeah, the concern here for Tampines Rovers as well is just noticed early on Diego Lopez. We just see the shot come in from distance. Shadan. This idea, I mean, had a space in front of him to attempt that shot. But with that back four, what we're seeing as well is Diego Lopez, number 10 of the Lion City Sailors, just playing a bit more in an advanced attacking midfield role. So it's almost as if Adam Rifdi has got a situation where he's got Diego Lopez making a run on the inside channel between himself and Yamashita, and then on the outside wider he's got Lestienne to keep an eye on as well.
Poor guy. He's got a lot to contend with, hasn't he? Yeah, it's interesting with teams seeing how good Lestienne has been. He's got just better and better as each game goes, how they approach this from their the perspective of their right back.
I mean, well, Lestienne, we saw him arrive late as well,
Yeah.
you know, needed some time to get into training. But already we're seeing here from Lion City Sailors responding to what Kim Do-hoon wants from them, and that is this high aggressive pressing game. He wants to win the ball back quickly. This is something I spoke about in the build-up to this.
Yes.
That he doesn't want Tampines Rovers to have time on the ball. He wants to disrupt their possession play. But Tampines do have the quality, and we're seeing here the ability to switch it out from that pressure.
Yeah, it was a lovely pass, wasn't it? Crossfield by Kyoga Nakamura to Taufik Suparno. I mean, one thing, Roshan, we have noticed a fair bit of is that the Sailors generally, and I'm generalizing a little bit, have not started matches particularly well.
Yeah.
Particularly at the start of the season.
The consistency has been an issue. We've not seen enough of that from them. And again, one of the reasons I think they've made that change with Song Wei-Yong coming in up front to replace Kim Shin-ok is that he gives them that mobility up front and also that aggression to press and that energy to press. And that's what they're trying to do in this game, and that's what we're seeing evidence of.
Here's Faris Ramli. And interesting, though, with so many changes that he made, you know, and the comments that he's also put out there in the public sphere, what one can correlate with that. Maybe we're reading too much into it, but I'm sure people are drawing their own conclusions about who got dropped and why.
Yeah, you know, you observe the game, analyze things for yourself. For all the stats that we look at, eye test is also very important. You match the two, you bring them together. It's not just one over the other.
Getting plenty of goals and being a tap-in merchant as opposed to someone who... I'm just putting that out there. Just putting it out there. Sometimes the figures can not give the full story, right?
No, but sometimes your role
Is
in
a
a team
tap-in
is to be a player in the penalty box, is to be a tap-in merchant, because you've got the quality around you to provide the service, and your coach wants you to be in the penalty box to finish off those chances.
Yes. I mean, you still have to put them away.
Yeah. So, I mean, look, we look at this game and we analyze it from our own thoughts about the match and what we see happening, right? We're not in the dressing room, so we don't know exactly what the instructions are. Exactly.
Back to Shazwan. I mean, if we're looking at it as a comparison to this game and the last time they played, it was Tampines who had a terrific start and really pinned back Lion City Sailors, who could barely get out their half. At the moment, it's flipped around, hasn't it?
Yeah, it has, and that's because the Lion City Sailors have been aggressive with their pressing so far. But I think Tampines would have expected this, as you see Noor Adam just going into the back of Taufik. Knee to the back of the head as well. It's the classic case of letting him know he's there. Got to get a few cliches in. Would have been doing my job otherwise.
And tapping Merchant and letting him know he's there. Well, I'm sure we'll rack those up. Here's Taufik. He's played a quick cross in, and it's easy for Hassan. You'd have thought with someone like Hafiz Noor, who's not a natural full-back, as Shazwan should get there. Oh, that was almost. And then Maxime Lestienne, well, he's not decided to go for goal with Shazwan scrambling to get back.
Oh, you know,
enough chance there.
Yeah, I thought he could have gone for goal in that situation. Lestienne, he decided against it. One of miscommunication in that defense between Ryan Sanizal and Shazwan. He just hesitated. Ryan wanted him to charge off his line and help clean up. And if they are playing that higher line, then Shazwan does need to have a higher starting position and needs to expect that there will be balls played over the top for him to go and address and deal with.
There's Nakamura. Now Adam. Back to Shazwan. Nakamura. Medevich, Nakamura, the real engine room of this Tampines Rovers side. It's a sweeping pass again. It's a delightful ball up to Irwan Shah. What a pass that is, and now lets it down with a cross, but he's sprayed some beautiful passes already, hasn't he, Nakamura?
Yeah, he's lovely to watch as a footballer. Fantastic. As the flag goes up, offside there on Gabriel Kwak. But Kyoga Nakamura, again, another sort of change in the role, because what I've observed from Kyoga Nakamura is he's been playing a little bit further forward for Tampines this season. His assist numbers have gone up. It's creating more opportunities for the team in that sort of attacking midfield role, I would say. And in this game, it seems that he's just dropping off a little bit more. Although Tampines do have that capacity, they have the players in there with all those rotations in positions. You'll sometimes see Mehmedovic, as we're seeing now, drop in, and then that means it's Nakamura's time to get forward and occupy a space further up the pitch.
Yeah, because he's normally the furthest back, isn't he, of the midfielders, Nakamura, in the past.
In the past, that's right.
There's up to Taufik Suparno, trying to get him in behind that defence.
Yeah, Koga Nakamura last season as well. So his ball played over the top. A bit too aggressive from Taufik on that occasion. Pedro doing well. He's coming across his that line of his run. It's an intelligent ball.
Yeah, wonderful stuff. Here is Lestienne. Normally, the crossing is excellent from him.
Really good pick up. I think it was Diego Lopez who played that ball in behind Tampines defence. Some space for Lestienne down the left-hand side. You're right to point out his delivery is normally a lot better.
Irwan Shah with an awkward header, then tidied up a little bit by Ryan Sanizal. Oh, well won back. He's tenacious, isn't he? Yasser Hanapi. Brilliant work from him. Zeradin Mehmedovic cut out by Noor Adam. A little bit more time on the ball now for Tampines Rovers. Adam Rifty. They're quite happy to stroke it around at the moment, aren't they, Tampines Rovers?
Inside, they are very comfortable in possession. They're not afraid to play out under that pressure. Something they're encouraged to do. And it works for them.
Yeah, because it doesn't for other sides we've seen who try to do it.
And this is the style for a few years now, since Kevin's been at the club. He's wanted them to play this way. So what they have going for them, Tampines, is that they have that continuity with the players in the squad. Okay, some changes to the roster, to the personnel here and there, but generally pretty much the same. And then the coaching staff as well. And it's interesting, I spoke to Tampines' chairman, Desmond Ong, a couple of months ago. We touched on the fact that there were a few players being awarded 5-year contracts at the club.
Unusual, isn't it?
Yeah, and he brought up the point that one of the...
We'll come back to that just a while because he was looking to just cut that back. Nakamura has fallen to Mehmedovic. It's a poor pass from Hafiz Noor. Yasser's trying to weave his way into the penalty area. A couple of half-hearted appeals for a penalty. Enrique's not too impressed with that one.
Yasser looking to use all his experience. Takes it past Pedro. And he knows what he's doing there. I mean, I don't think there's enough for a penalty.
He goes in,
Pedro
though,
goes across. But Yasser trying to tangle his legs up with Pedro in that situation.
Well, thankfully, Roshan, hopefully by next year, VAR will take a look at something like that, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be interesting as well.
And you and I would then be having debates about the VAR decision.
Would that be a clear and obvious error?
Yeah.
Would that be something the VAR would pick up and say, you need to have a look at this? Anyway, coming back to that point quickly about contracts.
Yes.
It's because I was talking about Gavin and the players at the club, when they sign these contracts and these extensions, he's actually a part of the discussions in that sense that the players and some of the younger players, the parents want to know that Gavin is staying. So he's very important.
That was contingent on the signing of the contract.
Right. That's one of the terms.
Wow, that's a big statement of intent from stakeholders. There's Yasser. And just to think, Roshan, towards the end of last season, there were some quarters calling for his head.
I wasn't one of them at all. I wasn't. In fact, I was by his side through it all, defending the players as well. Got a bit of stick from my fellow pundits for doing that.
Here's Adam Rifty. Advanced position there. Irwan. Needs to be a better ball. Kapitovic wasn't impressed.
Yeah, and I think, I have to give a lot of credit to Tampines and the job that they've done, the strategy in place. They know they can't compete financially, not just with the Lion City Sailors, but with some of the other clubs, perhaps.
Yeah.
They've got to go with youth, and they pick up the top talents in terms of younger players coming through.
Interesting, because this was a club that a few years ago had signed Jermaine Pennant, remember?
Oh, they've moved well away from.
Correct.
From
very,
those
very
days.
different.
Yeah.
Those days have changed things, haven't they? A lot of change at this club. Taufik Suparno. Here's Yasser. Trying to find Kapitovic. Not Irwan.
Yeah, that one wasn't a move that worked at all, right? Financially, it caused a few issues for the club.
Caused problems, it did. And as Lion City Sailors have proven, look, money isn't always, it's always not the issue, isn't it? You've got to get the right kind of players.
What has been encouraging about the SPL season so far is we've seen teams go and attack the Lion City Sailors.
Absolutely.
And they've gone up against them and they've not shown any fear. We've seen good competition, nice competitiveness.
There's Kapitovic, and to their credit here, Tampines Rovers have grown into this, haven't they, in the 15 minutes. They were pinned back a little bit. Higher and higher up the pitch now. Here's Song Wei-Young being a bit more adventurous. Now Lestienne against Adam Rifty. Diego Lopez. Goes in and looks up. You can see the space that Gabriel Quack was in. Option not taken.
Yeah, it made a bit of a movement, Gabriel. He wanted the ball in behind from Diego Lopez. Just for whatever reason, decided that that wasn't the pass he was going to make, Diego Lopez. We've seen Lestienne get frustrated with him as well, a couple of situations in prior matches.
Here's Diego Lopez, can he shoot here? Oh, and it's just wide of the upright. Shot was on, wasn't it?
Decent approach from Lion City Sailors. Gives it out, gets it back from Lestienne, makes a nice run in field. Far too open in central midfield at the moment. Tampines Rovers in these situations. It's a gap there to be exploited by the Lion City Sailors. A chance to attack that Tampines Rovers backline.
Got the only goal of the match against Geylang International. A game in which Geelong themselves grew into as well. And had their forward make some trouble in Shimezuzul. Oh, great work here from Taufik Suparno. Still on the ball somehow. And that came off Yasser, but that's what he can do. That's the confidence he's playing with at the moment.
Yeah, and that starts again. I mean, great work by Taufik Suparno. Wonderful individual ability. Step overs, accelerates away from Noor Adam and goes in on his weaker side as well. Noor Adam, left-footed player, you know, having a winger cut in onto your right foot makes it a little bit awkward for Noor Adam as well in those situations. And the reason why Taufik was actually able to run at Noor Adam was because of, again, they played out from the back and they played out from that press very well, Tampines Rovers. You look at the structures that they have in possession, there are always options for the player in possession. And what we saw there with the build-up down the right-hand side, Adam Rifdi at times will move infield to be that extra option, just to try and break that press from the Lion City Sailors.
Now, coming in from that left-hand side. Tampines Rovers seeing a lot more of the ball now. They'll be quite happy with this. Here's Nakamura. Just with that little movement we saw between Taufik and Noor Adam, and of course he's playing on this right-hand side today. He normally plays on the left. I just wonder whether with Hafiz Noor, not a regular fullback, that might be something they want to look at some point. But here comes Lestienne. That's read well, isn't it, by Ryan Sanizal. Here's Nakamura. Kupitovic makes a run. Now Yasser, who's got Amirul Haikal to his left. Tries to slip that through for Nakamura.
Yeah, again, it just looks so slick in possession, Tampines. The Lion City Sailors, they're trying to press, they're trying to be aggressive and disrupt that rhythm. But Tampines, I said, that they're too good for the moment in terms of the shape that they have in possession. Players, whenever there's a player in possession and he finds his line of pass blocked, you get a movement off the ball from someone else to come in and offer that option. And that's why they've been able to sort of break through that press from the Lion City Sailors. Good timing of those supporting runs.
Medovic looking for Yasser. Cut out by Hafiz. Away by Harris. Now Yamashita. Here one shot. A lot of time in the ball at the moment. Get away, Pedro Enrique. Here's Maxime Lestienne. That should be straightforward for Shazwan. Good news at the moment, as far as Lion City Sailors are concerned, it's one match a week. If they were in the old days of the AFC Champions League, of course, you'd be playing 2 matches a week in this period. Always puts more pressures on. Champions League at the moment in centralised venues. Now Yasser, space here for Taufik. He's looking up. Mehmedovic. There's a number of Tampines bodies there. Amirul trying to just get that past Haris Harun. It's kind of breaking down in that last bit, isn't it, at the moment?
Yeah, but the approach is very good. The approach play, the way they're playing out from that pressing again is just fantastic. You know, players are comfortable, confident in possession. They don't mind receiving under pressure. They're turning away from that pressure, playing it off, and they're getting forward. And that's when they're able to attack that back line of the Lion City Sailors. That Sailors back line has been exposed on a couple of occasions now. The warning signs are there. I mean, you're right. I mean, when they get to the opposition penalty box, just about making better choices in the decisions and finding a bit more quality in the attacking areas.
Out wide to Lestienne. It's past Tawfik. Now Diego Lopez. Here's Shadan. Now numbers back for Tampines Rovers.
Yeah, this is that phase when they don't have possession of the ball. But we're seeing that drop into a back five with Amirul, the number 12, just becoming that left wing back. Now they can transition quickly.
Oh dear.
Need to find the right pass. Just rushed it, Yase. He's caught in two minds there. I think he wasn't quite sure whether he should give it to Kapitovic or Amirul, who made a run on the outside of him.
Out wide here, Lion City Sailors. Noor Adam down the line to Lestienne. Was that a good ball in? That's offside though from Noor Adam. Quite clearly offside, I think, in that one. Midway through the first half, and no goals yet. It was a bright start from Lion City Sailors. Tampines Rovers seem to have adjusted quite well. Run here from Lestienne. Couldn't quite hold it.
Yeah, very important that Adam did his job and tracked the run of Lestienne in field. Nice ball over the top.
We talked about their principles of playing up from the back. It's now with Lion City Sailors. Slipped in here, Song Hyo, and it's smothered by Shazwan, who was brave.
Yeah, he had to do his job, and he did a really good job there, Shazwan. Quick off his line, spotted the danger early. This is a lovely ball from Faris. This reverse pass into the run of Song. He was onside, no doubt about that. And Shazwan, just have a look at that. In goal, quick off his line, nice starting position. Comes out, smothers it, gets a knock for his troubles.
Yeah, he knew, I think that was going to happen, didn't he? Did well. He hasn't really had that much to do yet, has he? Thrown himself across the goal for that one shot from Diego Lopez. Not really anything being called into action. That's probably been one. Has Lestienne quite been a terror on the left-hand side yet for you?
He's been receiving quite a bit of the ball, which is what we expected. He's always going to be an outlet for the Sailors. But in terms of actual danger that he's caused, yet not quite. But look, it's still a long way to go.
I only ask because by this time in the last two matches, you pinpointed him already as the key player, didn't you?
Yes, and look, all the clubs are going to be doing that. They're going to know that every time there's an out ball to him, Lion City Sailors are going to be looking for that. What they've done well here, Adam, he's not overexposed himself in that he's not, wanted to get forward in advanced attacking areas all the time. He's actually kept his position well.
Which we saw the Hougang game.
That's right. In Hougang, for example, Lestienne was able to exploit all that space because Hougang's right back at the time, Mohamed, I think it was, just getting caught out of position. Adam, and I think what helps as well is that young man is playing close to the touchline. Notice that he's been getting a few instructions from his coaching staff, Kevin and Farah, Mustafic. This is worrying for Tampines and for Shazwan.
We just saw a thumbs up there from the team, the Tampines team. They're just looking out at him, but still taking some time here. And they've got Daniel Ria on the bench. 19-year-old goalkeeper, if they need.
You know, so far this game has been quite different in terms of the flow from the first meeting between these two sides.
Yeah.
It feels a lot more tactical in a sense.
Chess match, right?
A bit more of a chess match, that's right. You know, we saw Tampines really carve Lion City Sailors open in the first meeting between these two sides. And there was a lot of pace to that game. There was a lot of pace to Tampines' attack.
Really?
We've seen glimpses of that at times. But it's almost been a case of, you know, Lion City Sailors trying to press but not being too organised. Tampines being able to play out from that. And then Tampines Rovers themselves, you know, getting themselves back into an organised defensive shape. And saying to the Sailors, you try and break us down in possession.
And now it's Taufik who's down. Pedro is waving his finger.
And straight to the back of Taufik. Painful one for him. Doesn't want to look at that. Just his hip into the back of Taufik. Pedro, of course, doesn't agree with that.
Think he knows that Pedro's there now?
He knows Pedro's there. He knows Noradam's there.
Here's Kapitovic. Now Taufik. Adam Rifty. Here's Zeredin Mehmedovic. All the way back to Shazwan Buhari, who is okay now, thankfully. Shazwan goes out wide to Irwan Shah. There he is. There's Amrul on that left-hand side, who's now in some space. Yasser. They're a team that's very patient, aren't they? This Tampines Rovers. Happy to bide their time. Irwan. There's a patient build-up here with this Tampines Rovers side.
Yeah, I mean, it makes a lot of sense, right? If you don't have the ball, then what are you doing? You're chasing it, right?
Now into a good area here. Amirul, first time, Kapitovic. And that's the kind of chance or the kind of delivery he'd want.
A little bit behind him, I think, on that occasion. But again, it's nice approach play from Tampines. I was actually running onto that. I think awkward height for Kapitovic to really try and connect properly with it. But yeah, if you don't have the ball, you're chasing it. So if there's nothing on in possession, just keep it. Wait for the opportunity to show itself.
There's Amirul. Mehmedovic just creating a bit of space. It's done well here. Yasser slips it into Kapitovic. Lovely ball to Taufik Suparno, who quickly tries to go across the box again. Was that the right option for him? But it's still with Tampines Rovers. Now Nakamura, he's got options in the box again. Across the goal. Was he going for it? Taufik Suparno. It's wide in the end.
Great chance. And have a look at that leap from Taufik as well. Wonderful power. Just to get up to try and meet that cross. The first opportunity here, I don't think this is the best of deliveries from Taufik, but they keep it alive with that counter press. They win it immediately. Nakamura is quick to take it back. That's a delightful ball right into the head of Taufik, and I think he's going for goal. Needs to finish that. He's looking for the far post.
Being disappointed with that effort not to at least put that on target. But encouraging here for Lion City Sailors.
Great chance for Tampines to open the scoring.
It's encouraging, isn't it? And a very, very different approach to the last time we saw them play. Here's Yasir. Now Adam. Big cross in. I was going to say it's almost fallen there nicely for Kapitovic, but he won't get there. Away by Hafiz Noor. Ryan strong there in the air.
Very good from Ryan. Very good. And this is excellent from
as well.
Nakamura.
Yep, absolutely. Kapitovic shapes up to shoot. Right now, it's the Sailors who are on the... Sorry, excuse me, it's Tampines who are in the ascendancy.
Yeah, they want a free kick, the Sailors, for that challenge on Song by Ryan. Absolutely no way. It's an excellent challenge by the young man. And the second one, Kyoga Nakamura stepping forward to win it in midfield.
Here's Nakamura again.
The Sailors side at the moment disjointed in their pressing. So you have sort of that attacking unit, a few of them going out to press, and then you have a gap. The moment it's played behind that first line of that Lion City Sailors press, that midfield is exposed, and then Tampines can get in behind and attack this Sailors back four.
Here's Ryan. Yamashita. On to Yasir. Now Taufik. Cross played in. Not the best header, but they get away with it there from Hafiz.
And they're doing well here, Tampines, to win back possession quickly. The two central defenders, Yamashita and Ryan Sanizal, making sure that they're keeping track of the movements of Song. As he drops off to be that player to try and relieve the pressure on the Sailors. Central defenders are following him into deeper areas, giving him an easy opportunity to try and make the ball stick.
Yeah, it's a good period here for the Tampines Rovers at the moment. They'll be pleased with what they've done. But as they know, they had a lot of possession and a lot of chances in that last match against the Sailors and didn't win. So they know they've got to make the most of any opportunity that they get. Haris Harun. Now Faris. He's been fairly quiet today. Pedro. Diego Lopez. They need a bit of magic from their key players here. Nur Adam on a good run here. Muscled off the ball. Nakamura. Cool as you like in a tight space.
Yeah, he's unlucky there, but he's a wonderful footballer, Kyoga Nakamura. He's one of those players who's signed those 5-year contracts.
Yeah, he's also expressed an interest in playing for Singapore.
Yep. And let's remember the Tampines side have got Joel Chu
to come.
Yep. Shah as well.
Yep. Once they complete their obligations, here is Lestienne, and the flag inevitably goes up. Listen, they've kept him pretty quiet today.
They have. Yeah, so far.
So far.
I like to end my sentences with a
caveat.
So far. Yeah, he's offside. I think you can see quite clearly from that picture there. He's leaning well off.
I'm glad we'll have VAR next year to draw some lines and get us talking about other things.
You know, we've crushed a few dreams out there. I know for a fact there are viewers of this league who like watching it.
Yeah.
Aside from the football, aside from the fact that it's available around the world, they like that there's no VAR at the moment.
Oh.
It's like a throwback to...
well, a bit old school still here.
Yeah.
Ah. Vintage, maybe is a better word. I just like getting the right
Hey, I'm with you.
decision.
I'm with you.
People will argue there's not always the right decision. That's up to Adam Rifty, who's missed it. Diego thought Noor Adam was going to take that. He still looked back at him.
Well, he can't because
he's got other problems.
Yeah, he's got to keep track of Taufik, who's pinning him back. Taufik's doing a good job positionally. You know, he doesn't need to be receiving it, but because he's hugging the touchline, staying wide and he's staying high, that gives Noor Adam something to think about.
Yeah, because Noor Adam does love to get forward, doesn't
Yes.
he? And he's not really had too many of those sort of opportunities. Here's Harris. Song dropping back a little bit. Now he's making the run. Harris. This ball cut out by Irwan Shah. Gabriel skips past Irwan. Still Gabriel Quack. Oh, and it's found its way in. It's a big deflection. And it's a really unfortunate way. They are not going to care. Was that shot on target anyway from Gabriel Quack? Don't think it was, but he is, of course, going to claim the credit right now.
This is the frustrating thing for Tampines. You know, there's situations like this that just go against them. There's no way Gabriel is looking to shoot from there. He's looking to play the ball into Song. You can see from the shape of his body, he gets his head up. You can see from the way he actually tries to deliver that. Puts it into the area, takes a touch off Ryan Sanizal. The goalkeeper, Shazwan's expecting that a cross to be coming in, deflects past him. It's very unlucky for Tampines. And look, the Sailors, once again, I don't know how they keep doing this. They haven't been convincing at all, but they've opened the scoring.
Oh dear, unfortunate for Ryan Sanizal. And you can't legislate for that, can you? There's nothing you can do about those kind of situations, and that is a little bit of a blow to the gut for Tampines Rovers. Here's Taufik. Now Yasser. Seredin Mehmedovic, can they hit back immediately? He's done well here. Oh, that's there enough of a foul for you, Roshan?
It looked like a foul. It looked like a foul to me because he just burst past Noor Adam. Wonderful acceleration from Taufik, and there was an arm across him. Let's have a look at his first touch. Excellent. Skips past him. That's a foul, and he steps on him as well in the area.
Was that foul
the follow through?
Outside?
The first one is outside. It's a foul on the outside. But the follow through there actually ends up landing on Taufik's shin or scarf. I think it should have been at least a free kick. Should have been at least a free kick. Penalty, I don't think so, because the first incident happened outside. Of course, it can still be a penalty if the foul continues into the box. But the tug, I think the initial contact was outside the area.
So they're having a little... He's asked a question there, Taufik, to Ahmad Akasha. They're going to get precisely nothing out of that now. But he got the better of Noor Adam in that instance. He got round
great
it.
first touch. Again, the position that he takes up, so by the time it sort of comes into him, Noor Adam's already essentially a little bit behind him.
Yeah.
So that first touch into the space, he knows he's got the acceleration, he knows he's got the speed to beat the left back. Fortunate. Again, something that's gone against Tampines.
He really is a man playing with confidence at the moment, and that's why he got rewarded with that cap against in the Tri-Series, those appearances. And he's now given Singapore more attacking options, Roshan, in the Asian Cup qualifiers coming up next month. Here is Noor Adam. Too much on there, easy for Shazwan again.
Yeah, Diego Lopez is not happy with Norodam's attempt to play that pass.
Delightful ball, and Amirul's working hard. Harris doesn't get rid. Amirul. Hafiz gives that away. Zerdin Mehmedovic. And he makes amends there. Hafiz. Song Wei-young. Now Gabriel Kwak. This is where they're stretched here. He can play the shots on, but it's straight. And the keeper's still alive here. Wow, what a chance for Maxime Lestienne.
Now that was good play from the Sailors. Really good move from back to front. Plenty of pace in that attack. Gabriel, clever pass through the legs of Yamashita. Ryan Sanizal just completely loses track of the run of Song. And they really should have put that one away. Lestienne especially.
We're going back up the other end right now because he's in the penalty area of Kapitovic. Now Kimura. The flick on there from Mehmedovic doesn't work.
First time I've seen really Ryan Sanizal track the run of Song into a midfield area and then lose track of the follow-up.
Here's Lestienne, who's got Yamashita in front of him. That's a good ball, but maybe too much pace in it, and it's wide from Song Wei-young. Suddenly it seems a bit stretched.
Yeah. And towards half-time, Lion City Sailors sitting back a bit more, trying to exploit the spaces on the counters.
Here's Faris. Amirul, was that a foul? No. That looks like a good bit of defending. He can't believe it though, Faris.
Almost similar to what happened on the other side. That's a foul.
Oh, that's a foul, isn't
I
it?
think the referee in the back of his mind is perhaps thinking, I didn't give one earlier. I should have given it Taufik. I got to even things up, because that was
that was very clear, wasn't it?
Yep. I think that conceding that goal has given Tampines a bit of a knock.
Yeah.
A couple of instances here where they were not taking care of possession as well as they normally do.
Yasser, now to Boris Kapitovic. No foul on him.
The fourth official has indicated a minimum of 3 minutes of additional time.
3 minutes of added time for, you would have thought that time spent on the keeper Shazwan Buhari for Tampines. There's going to be a free kick here.
Yeah, I mean, Kopetovic is taking it away from Hafiz. Opportunity for Tampines here with this free kick. They don't have great height, especially if Boris Kopetovic is out here taking the free kick.
You'd have thought you might want to get him in.
Yeah. He is
slowly trudging
looks like he's
across.
gotten the message. Yasser said, you should go and get in there. I know you've scored 12 goals, 11 in the last 6, but there's no way you're scoring from here.
Correct. Consecutive as well. Very good record. Oh, it's a decent ball, back post. Yamashita.
Yeah, now that one needed to go across from Yamashita. Good delivery towards the far side of the pitch. Good leap from Yamashita. Go across. Needed to go across back where it came from. Cross towards the far post.
Is that the kind of chance you'd think Kim Shin-wook would like? You'd think?
Yes. Well, to be fair, we saw him get into a great position against Geylang, was it? Where Lestienne put a cross right on top of his head.
Yeah,
he was in the
beautiful
6-yard
cross,
box,
wasn't
or on top of the 6-yard box essentially, and then ended up hitting the side of his head and going over.
That's right. It's a lovely ball, wasn't it?
It was. It was. Well, it's Taufik's turn to let Noor Adam know he's there.
Nice little duel, this one, isn't it?
A bit of skill from Noor Adam. That's a naughty one from Taufik.
Well, no card showed by Ahmad Akasha in this first half.
Well, I think Kim Do-hoon's not happy. He saw that kick out essentially and wants a card for Taufik.
Just about 40 seconds or so left in this first half. And as we wrap things up here, Roshan, what are your thoughts on what we've seen so far?
I don't think Tampines deserve to be a goal down. I think they've been the better of the two sides in this first half. Sailors still struggling to really get into their rhythm.
Gabriel Kwak on his left-hand side for now. Final opportunity, you'd say, and that's going to be a corner. Perfect as far as Lion City Sailors are concerned at the end of this first half.
I think generally Tampines have had pretty good control of this first half. It's unfortunate they find themselves going into the break a goal down, as it stands so far.
Caveat, caveat, caveat.
Still time from this corner.
The ultimate hedger, Mr. Roshan Rai. Here we go then. Should be the final bit of action. Oh, that's just taken a massive deflection, hits the crossbar. That could have gone absolutely anywhere. And that kind of sums up how Lion City Sailors have gone. They had an own goal that's given them the lead towards the end of that first half. It came off Ryan Sanizala, a cross from Gabriel Kwak. Otherwise, they've had a pretty good first 45, caused some problems. Lion City Sailors started ever so brightly, perhaps in response to what their coach had said. But it's been promising for Tampines Rovers. Half-time score here at our Tampines Hub. It's 1-0 to Lion City Sailors.
Now we find the rules we can.
Hold a slender advantage at half-time as we come to the break here at our Tampines Hub. A 1-0 scoreline then in this big game in the AIA Singapore Premier League. 9 shots to 4, 5-0 on target, which probably will be a source of frustration for Tampines Rovers given everything else that they did in the first half. That hasn't seen them effective in front of goal, as their lack of corners would also suggest. Well, that's the bare bones of the statistical summary at half-time. Let's flesh it out a bit with Rush and Ryan. Those stats, right, I think above all else, they tell us this is a very different game from the two clubs' first meeting this season, right?
Yeah, that's right. I think a very different sort of pace to the game as well. It's more of a chess match, more of a tactical battle, and Lion City Sailors as well, the setup is different in terms of their wanting to press higher, want to be aggressive in those pressing situations. But Tampines have the quality, as I said, to play through those presses, and they have created opportunities of their own. They just haven't been able to put those chances away.
We'll take a look at those opportunities later on, but let's get to the goal that separates these two sides. First things first, it was initially announced in the stadium as being for Gabriel Kwak. It looked as if it was a hefty deflection off Ryan on the way through, so a Ryan Sanizal own goal. Talk us through where this came from, out of nowhere, really.
Yeah, I mean, really, Tampines, I think, were the side who were dominating things and generally had good control of the game. Again, the stats will say 9 shots to 4, 5 on target, but really you need to look at quality of the chances and quality of the opportunities. And for Lion City Sailors, I think this kind of came against the run of play a little bit at this point. Very fortunate. Gabriel's not looking for a shot. He's looking for the run of Song Ae-yong. He's looking to try and play a pass into him. Unlucky, Tampines. I mean, just unfortunate that Ryan has dropped off into that area. He's stretching, takes a touch off him and deflects.
It was unlucky, but this game could almost be dead by now because Lion City Sailors took a while to create meaningful chances. But once they started to do so, particularly as the half wore on, you would argue that they may even feel they could have been a couple up. Let's have a look at these chances they created throughout the half.
This was, again, this was a shot that came very early on in the match. As I said, they had a good start to the game in the sense that they tried to be aggressive. They tried to put Tampines under pressure and tried to disrupt their rhythm and in possession. Shot from range, and it had to be something pretty special to beat the goalkeeper from there, really. Lestien with his ability on the ball, giving it into Diego. Space opened up for him. Again, another opportunity from range.
Nothing that's really worrying Tampines too much. They weren't getting in behind too often. It's all in front of them, isn't it?
It's all really in front of them. There was one opportunity that was played in for Song to get in behind with that reverse pass by Faris. Shazwan came off his line to deal with that. We're going to have a look at that here. Good work from Diego Lopez down this left-hand side. But really, these sorts of chances where they've gotten in behind that Tampines defense have been rare, few and far between. And even then, Shazwan coming out really well, very quick off his line. Picked up an injury, good starting position, nice and alert, steps off and goes into close down.
Good goalkeeping, wasn't that? Very brave, that.
Yeah, good goalkeeping by Shazwan. And look, this nice intelligent play from Faris with that reverse pass. But as I've said, again, for me, Lion City Sailors have kind of struggled to get into their rhythm.
Now, you didn't often see situations like this. And when it came, remember, this was shortly after the goal. That's what I was talking about. This is where they could have really hurt them.
That goal that they conceded Tampines, that seemed to hurt them a little bit. They were looking shaky in possession after that for that short spell. It gave them a bit of a knock. And Lion City Sailors should have capitalized on that moment. A couple of minutes in here where Tampines were looking shaky, and that's where they had these opportunities. If not Song, Lestien should definitely have finished that. And there should have been
two very decent chances. And then even just on the stroke of half-time, we found another opportunity, and this one looping up and onto the bar, and that would have been cruel.
Again, it's not even half a chance, right? It just puts something in the box, takes a deflection, comes off the crossbar. But the way things have been going for Tampines, they might have ended up in the back of net.
But Roshan, this is a cruel game. You fully understand this one. As much as you might appreciate what Tampines Rovers do, their progressive football, the passing, they've been a little lightweight in front of goal. The choices, the decisions, the options taken haven't always been the best, have they?
Yeah, some moments in those attacking areas where the decision-making in terms of the picking up the right sort of pass hasn't quite been there. The quality of the final delivery, not quite there. And the quality of the finish in the situation. It is behind him a little bit, takes away the momentum of the attack. Kopetovic has to sort of drop off to try and meet the cross from Amirul with that cutback. And to be fair, Noor Adam's there to try and close off the angles. He's got Pedro in front of him as well. But there were lots of encouraging moments from Tampines. They were able to play through those presses.
He's been good, hasn't he? Yasser Hanabi.
Yasser's been very good, very intelligent with his movement. Cross comes in. Again, not the best delivery, but have a look at the recovery here. Nakamura steps forward, wins it, and then this is an excellent cross. And this should be finished. This, for me, should be finished. Great leap from Taufik at the back post. I think he's been very lively. He's caused all sorts of issues for Noor Adam with his movement, with his positioning, pinning Noor Adam back. he needs to. He makes the right decision.
The goalkeeper, haven't you? You've got to be putting it on the target, right?
He makes the right decision to go far post here, Taufik. He makes the right call. This is the right decision to go far post. Back where it came from, just didn't get the quality on that to end up in the back of the net.
Similar situation here with Yamashita popping up unmarked on the far post, and again, as you said in commentary, it had to go back.
Had to go back towards the far post in that situation. And they've had good chances. These are good chances for Tampines, especially the Taufik header. So they have created something, and I think they're a bit unfortunate to be a goal down.
This, Roshan, is a game of fine margins. Let's break down a couple of penalty shouts just because they existed and see if there is any merit to either of them.
Well, I mean, look, Mehmedovic receives it here, and they try and work their way into an opening. I don't think there's much in that from Yase.
He looked for the leg and went over it. Pedro was angry about him.
It's a situation there where he's looking for it, essentially. He's put his legs in there towards Pedro. Pedro steps across his line. Of course he does, but there's not enough there for me to actually give a penalty to Tampines in that situation. And then this one here from Taufik. Lovely first touch. This to me is a foul. But I think it occurs outside the box. I think it occurs outside the box, so it should have been a free kick. From Nur Adam with the challenge, the arm across. Taufik beats him. There's no way he's getting to that. Arm comes across, he's off balance. On the follow through as well. I mean, accidentally, Nur Adam's actually stamped on his calf as well, but it should have been a free kick. It was outside the area.
I want to talk to you a little bit about Kim Do-hoon and what he's likely to be saying right now. We spoke about him pre-match. He has had plenty to say about Lion City Sailors.
Yep.
Has there been enough on show to suggest that there's been any kind of a reaction from his team today?
I think his players have tried. They've tried to press, but the lack of cohesion is there, and I can see it because there are gaps in the pressing, and there are gaps that Tampines are able to exploit with their positioning, with the fact that Adam Rifdi, the right back, at times is dropping in to be that extra man in central midfield. On the left-hand side, it's Irwan who drops in, so they are outnumbering the Lion City Sailors in those areas, and they're able to play out from that. They fell off away a little bit, and again, I don't know how they keep doing this as Sailors. They don't play well, but they've got themselves a goal.
All right, just quickly, Roshan, this game's not done yet, is it?
I don't think it's done. I think Tampines have an opportunity in the second half to claw it back and get themselves back into the game.
All right, well, that should make for a really, really entertaining second half. My thanks to Roshan. He'll be back with Shazad on commentary for a second half that promises plenty. But right now, this has been tight. The crowd have played their part. It's been a tremendous atmosphere at our Tampines Hub, and it's the champions with the slender lead. Tampines Rovers 0, Lion City Sailors 1.
Our Tampines Hub, the AIA Singapore Premier League match going to get underway the second half shortly. Tampines Rovers are trailing Lion City Sailors by the solitary goal, care of one of their own. Ryan Sun is out. Wicked deflection off him as Gabriel Kwak was trying to cross to Song Wei-yong. No changes coming into this second half. In Gavin we trust, as the banner says, and I think we can trust that Gavin will try to get a response out of his players, will get a reaction out of that, because they should count themselves a little bit unlucky, Roshan.
Yeah, I think they have been unfortunate in that first half, especially with the goal that they conceded. And then once they conceded that goal, it seemed to give them a bit of a knock, and it took them a couple of minutes again to then sort of get going. And that could have been a crucial period. That could have been a period where Lion City Sailors could have piled on the goals. They had good opportunities after that, didn't take them, and the halftime break gives Tampines that opportunity just to have a bit of a reset. But overall, I think they've been doing well. I think the first half was pretty well controlled by the home side. They just need to be reminded of making sure they put in a bit more quality in those attacking areas. Kapitovic has been a little bit quiet, so you want to see a bit more from him in this second half.
As for Lion City Sailors, would it be fair to say it's been under par from them again from what we've seen in the past, or more or less how things have been in the last few weeks?
I think the second one, really, how things have been.
Which is chugging along, but not.
They've been getting the results without looking spectacular, I guess. And there have been games this season where they've looked fantastic, great to watch, but it's been pretty inconsistent. It's been very up and down.
What about that old cliche? Because we're dealing in cliches tonight, right? That, you know, you're a good team and you're still grinding out results and not playing particularly well.
Yeah, I mean, you could see it that way, but even then, that's something Kim Do-hoon has addressed.
He doesn't really want that, does he?
He says, yeah, if we keep going this way, we might be able to pick up the wins, but we don't improve. You know, so that's a thoughts of their head coach.
Very publicly.
Yeah.
Let's see what we get in this second half then. West End went down, but here is Gabriel Kwak into the penalty area. That's great work there from Irwan Shah.
That's a very good challenge from Irwan. A bit of hesitation from Gabriel, but Irwan came charging in. Had to time it well.
Taufik, he'll get there ahead of Pedro. That's interesting. He opted to punch that one away. Hassan. Here's Irwan. Up to Amirul. That is a poor ball, I'm afraid, from him.
Those are the situations where they can get an opportunity to swing across in. Quality hasn't quite been there in those attacking positions, key moments.
Here's Hafiz Noor playing in that fullback position.
And this time he wins a free kick, Song, off Ryan. It's a decision for the referee to make.
Go back, get it right. Move away.
Well, it's worked for them, Tampines. But again, a cross straight into the arms of Hassan Sani. But that initial bit of play from Yase, forcing an error from Shadan, almost allowed Tampines to try and create something.
Well, just looking at options on the bench, and Tampines, again, they have just 2 players over 23 as options for them.
Yeah, very young side. Lion City Sailors, meanwhile, got internationals,
galore,
raft of them on the bench.
And we kind of touched upon this as well, didn't we, last week with the Geylang match, Lion City Sailors, and the options they could bring on, and what Geylang had to do to try and affect change. They didn't really have too many game changers, did they?
There's no other squad like this in the league.
Well, you have a player who's playing the Champions League like Lestienne is. And that's a good save from Shazwan. The angle probably not in Lestienne's favour.
It's a neat first touch from Lestienne. A nice drop of the shoulder as well to invite the challenge from Adam. She's into that space ahead of him. It's a good save from Shazwan. There was plenty of power behind that hit from Lestienne. He's disappointed with himself, right?
He is. And, you know, it's been very hot. This has been the hottest May on record for Singapore. So these are not easy conditions. Very humid, I can tell you. Away by Yasir. Kapitovic has missed it, but here's Taufik. It seemed to be a foul by Gabriel in there. Just very to get going. There's been a few of these sort of niggly situations tonight.
I think this game needs it right now. I think it needs an injection of this something, this little fight between
It's been a bit passive, is it?
Yeah, I think at times, especially the start of the second half, it's been a bit slow. I think that's a pretty good challenge, by the way.
Yeah.
From Gabriel. It's unfortunate there.
Agreed. And that is a foul on Kapitovic, which is what he's asking for.
Well, the referee didn't give it, but have a look at the assistant referee. He's actually flagging for it.
Well, the assistant, it was quite a late decision from the assistant, but he did give it.
I think, you know, he was waiting to see if the referee would give it. The referee didn't, and maybe they were in communication to each other. The assistant referee said, you know what, you're not going to give it. I'm going to indicate that there was a foul.
Now, that's a yellow for Noradam for the foul on Kapitovic. That's the first yellow of this match as well. There have been a few contenders for that earlier.
Was it for Noradam or for Lestienne? It was interesting because he seemed to be facing Lestienne. We'll get some confirmation on that, I'm sure.
Yeah, it was Noradam. We just got some confirmation. Now, Kapitovic scored a really good free kick from the other side, to be fair, against Young Lions. This is going to favour a left footer, you'd say. Nakamura standing over it. It's Kapitovic! Oh, it hits the woodwork! Tough, though, tough.
Yeah, Kapitovic, I spoke to him yesterday. He said normally the free kicks are taken by Nakamura and Mehmedovic, but he's been in such good form and he's so confident. And he tells them, leave it to me, guys. And he was so close with this, wasn't he? I mean, I'd love to see that wall as well. I think it just breaks apart. You have a look at that players turning away from the ball and leaving that gap open.
I mean, that should never, that's not a chance that you should be creating in the first place.
Good effort, but again, unfortunate for Tampines.
That's the kind of evening they've had. Faris got a little touch on, but it's back with Tampines Rovers. Is that foul by Shadan on Nakamura? Yes, it is. Oh, I think Nakamura said, I want a card for that ref.
Oh, he's pushed the referee's hands away as well. I mean, that's
not something you see from Nakamura normally, but he's frustrated.
Frustrated with the refereeing.
Yeah, you can't do that.
I mean, it's not a good challenge from Shadan. Nakamura, if he spins away from him, he's actually able to run at that defense. But really, he can't react the way he did.
No, but you can understand why he wanted a card.
I can understand it, but
yes.
That reaction was not necessary.
So a change has been made. As Gabriel Quack's gone off, Heiko Pasha, you were talking about maybe injecting something. Remember that Gabriel's still on the path to recovery after a pretty serious injury that we sustained in December. It's interesting, they brought on the only player who has yet to represent Singapore or Korea from the bench. Lion City Sailors. Heiko Pasha. Talk about a bench chock full of yet to make his debut for the national team.
Another yellow card that's been dished out.
So we had no yellow cards for the first 50-odd minutes. Now we've had 3 in about 4 minutes.
And there was Irwan just lunging in.
You asked for a little bit more of this, didn't you?
I did, yeah.
A little bit of needle.
Yeah. It's good. It's good. Game needs it. It's confirmation of the yellow card for Irwan. That's a lovely play from the Lion City Sailors to release Heiko.
Heiko, here his first touch. Ball across the face of the goal, and they've forced it in. Lestienne has got the second. It looked like Shazwan had done enough. What a great introduction for Heiko Pasha.
Immediate impact off the bench. This is a very good goal. Lovely work from Lion City Sailors down the right-hand side. Good combination. Players dragging Tampines Rovers out into those wider positions. Heiko Pasha running in behind. Adam Rifty unfortunately goes to sleep there. The young man, he takes his eye off the runner. He's ball watching, and Lestienne comes in on his blind side, charges in front of him, and is able to find a finish despite Shazwan's best efforts.
Shazwan actually in the build-up to that pointed out, watch out behind you.
It was the movement of Lestienne. Great approach play like the Sailors down the right-hand side to build it up and create an opportunity to send across. But really, Adam was in a good position to actually get to the ball first. He was waiting for the ball, and he was also watching the ball. Lestienne just coming in on his blind side, using his quality, his speed, and his experience to put that one into the back of the net for Lion City Sailors. Not the kind of response I expected from Tampines. Start of the second half, a bit subdued.
Worst possible start for them. Lestienne doubles their lead. That's his 3rd goal of the campaign as well. Wonderful work there by Heiko Pasha. Especially to those, I'm sure, who would have raised their eyebrows at the choice of Heiko to come on. Have a number of other players that could have done it instead. Now, what is the response going to be from Tampines Rovers? Here is Yasser. Well over Kapitovic. Just go back 2 or 3 minutes before that, they hit the post, didn't they, with the free kick. It's been that kind of game for them.
Yeah, it has. It's one of those things as well. That frustration starts to creep in, and you sometimes just start to think, you know what, maybe it's not our day, it's not our night. And you want to say that, oh, you shouldn't be thinking like that. Look, you shouldn't be, but a shot from range. Medovic's trying to catch out Hassan. It's human nature, right?
It is. It's hard to block that out because they'll be massively disappointed. Space here for Faris Rumley. Still Faris. Oh dear. He's got a big deflection, I guess. Some deflection, I suppose, and that'll be a corner.
Yeah, this is where Tampines have got to be careful, because there's a real danger of this game really running away from them. This comes off Yamashita. And remember, there was a spell after Sale scored their first goal where Tampines started to look a little bit shaky, 2 or 3 minutes. Doing the same here.
Back in by Hafiz. Now Diego. That to be a little trip from Taufik, and it's going to be a free kick.
Yeah, the first one was good from Taufik, but I think Diego was just smart enough to just get his body in the way for the second one here.
Yellow cards shown so far. Kurga Nakamura and Irwan Shah, and one for Nur Adam. Here's Nakamura, who's just waiting for that run from Mehmedovic, who's busting a gut to get there, and was that necessary from Lestienne? I'm not quite sure why he needed to necessarily do that. But it is the yellow card.
Yeah, I mean, I can't have any complaints about that. And I think he's acknowledging it as well. Immediately apologizes to Mehmedovic. You can't give anything more than yellow in that situation. There's no way this is a red.
It's just a professional foul, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, and I mean, it's frustrating for Tampines, and it's frustrating for Mehmedovic as well. You're playing that situation. Lestienne's essentially saying to him, "Come on, you know I needed to do that."
I'm
you would have done the same.
at Mehmedovic's reaction.
I mean, look, I can understand it's frustration, and it's also you think you're running away with it, you get tucked back. You know, it's a cynical one. He's got absolutely no chance of winning the ball.
I can't tell you there are going to be 2 changes, and interestingly enough, one of them involves Taufik Suparno, the man on the ball right now, leaving the pitch. Can he get a goal before he's pulled off? Here's Taufik. Mehmedovic. No foul. But they've managed to retain possession here. Nakamura. Still Nakamura. Oh, that's fairly straightforward for Hassan Sani.
Good play from Nakamura. Just breezed past a couple of challenges. Went past flat-footed Shadan, and not a bad attempt at goal from Nakamura. There's not enough direction to really trouble Hassan.
The substitution has been made in Tampines Rovers, with number 17, Edwin Shah, is being replaced by number 14, Mark Ryan Tan.
So Mark Ryan Tan coming off for Irwan Shah. Interesting.
With number 13, Taufik Suparno.
Taufik Suparno.
Replaced by number 21, Firdaus Kasman.
Firdaus Kasman is effectively a holding midfielder. Mark Ryan Tan plays out wide. An attacker. Can play through the middle as well, I suppose. But interesting. What do you make of these changes?
Yeah, so what's going to happen is Amirul can...
left back.
He's very comfortable at left back anyway. He's going to move to play at left back where Irwan was. Mark Ryan Tan will play on the left-hand side. Firdaus will drop into midfield to be that holding midfielder, and that means they can push Nakamura further forward, which is where he's been for most of Tampines' games this season, and where he's done a lot of damage for them in those attacking areas. They'll give him a free attacking role, Nakamura.
And thoughts on Taufik being withdrawn?
I think they needed to sort of make a decision around the effectiveness and how they were going to try and change the game in terms of pushing Nakamura into an advanced area. Taufik's done well, he did his part. I thought he had a very good first half. It's faded a bit in this second. not a real surprise that they've decided to take him off. Doesn't tend to finish matches, Taufik.
Well, he used to not even start matches.
Yeah.
For a long time.
I said, yeah, exactly. It was something that he worked on. He himself said, changed his diet, worked on aspects of his physical fitness.
Here's Yamashita. Now Mark Ryan Town has just come on. They're piling bodies in, aren't they? It's becoming a bit more full-throated, full-bodied, shall we say.
It's going to get more open, this game. And Lion City Sailors will have these opportunities on the break, on the counters. This is where it gets dangerous for Tampines, but they have to take the risk. And 2 goals down, clock's ticking away. They are the ones who need to go and open up and push bodies forward.
Oh, they've done really well. Win the ball back there, Kopitovic in particular. Nakamura.
What an effort, what a try from Nakamura. I know he's way out, but he does have the capability to do that. Good technical quality. Finds a space in midfield to get forward from. Was looking at Kopitovic as one option. He saw Pedro got his line of pass cut off. So he decided to have a shot at goal instead.
Across to Lestienne, who scored that. Could be a deciding second goal. An important one, but that's straight to Shazwan. It's picked up the pace of this game tremendously. Now Yasir. Puts a cross in for Kopitovic, but Noradam comes in to cut that out.
It's good defending by Noradam. He really did have to tuck in. Get it away from Kopitovic. Perhaps could have gone in and tried to meet the cross coming in instead of sort of waiting for it to arrive.
Here's Faris, sees lots of space for Lestienne. Oh, it's a goal, a really good one from Song Wei-young. What a ball that was. An absolute delightful cross. How many times have we said that about Maxime Lestienne already this season?
That's a good finish. Great finish from Song. And he was the one who started off the move. It was played into him. He held off Ryan Sanis. A lovely touch back into Faris, who released Lestienne. I mean, you give a player of that sort of quality, Maxime Lestienne, that much time and space to pick a cross. I mean, that's the kind of quality he's going to deliver.
It's on the plate, isn't it? It's a great finish as well. What a goal.
He's starting to see that difference in individual quality shining through now. Lion City Sailors can afford to make those changes from off the bench and add the quality to their game. Tampines Rovers starting to fatigue. Adam Rifdi is 18 years old, did a good job in the first half, worked incredibly hard, but he's starting to get exposed now.
Well, it's been a tough 20 minutes or so this second half, isn't it, for Tampines Rovers? And that, you would feel, Roshan, was probably the final nail. Or we're going to caveat that. What do you think?
I mean, it's difficult to see Tampines Rovers recovering from this situation based on the body language of the players out there and the lack of options on the bench.
Yeah.
You know, they're all young players, you know, looking to come in and try and impact the game. Very difficult. Sailors can bring... I mean, just look at the options the Sailors have, and the 2 changes they're going to make now, Amirul Adli and Kim Shin-ho.
That's the kind of resources they have, of course. I wonder if that means Song is done. We'll see. Here's Mark Tan. Now Yasir. Again, Nur Adam is in the way. Might be precautionary for Pedro to be taken off. He's just went down a little earlier.
Well, you know what? We saw a great comeback at this ground from 3-0 down. Tampines Rovers were involved in that one.
That's right.
But it was Tanjung Pagar who came back from 3-0 down
Absolutely.
to take a point.
It was quite the match. Well, don't forget they were 2-0 down themselves not too long ago, a couple of weeks ago. Tampines Rovers against Young Lions and came back to win 3-2 in the 90th minute. Thanks to a Kapitovic free kick. But yeah, very, very different circumstances now. And Pedro's gone down. They're going to make that change. And Amarul Adli will come in for the big man.
The substitution has been made in Tampines Sailors with number 2, Pedro Enrique, is being replaced by number 5, Amirul Adli.
The other change is Faris Rumley,
The substitution has been made in Tampines
who will be replaced by Kim Shin-hook.
is being replaced by number 9, Kim Shin-wook.
And presumably, Song now just plays behind him. Perhaps it could be Diego Lopez, but regardless, of course, it is going to be Kim Shin-hook as the centre forward. And it's going to be a different kind of game now with him there, right, Roshan?
Yeah, different kind of game. And look, again, it's a situation where they're in complete control here, Lion City Sailors, in terms of the scoreline. They've got a wonderful cushion to protect and invite Tampines to come at them. We know how dangerous the Sailors are on the counter.
Here's Diego. Look at that. He's shown by Heikel. Great run from Heikel. Can he finish off? Yes, he can. That is a wonderful run from Heikel Pasha.
Yeah,
What an impact he's had.
Sorry for cutting across you there, Shez, but a wonderful impact off the bench. And the first one setting up that goal for Lestien, and then here with the pace that he showed. And this is what I picked out just a few seconds ago. Tampines are going to have to take those risks. They're going to have to push forward. Lion City Sailors are built perfectly for that with the speed that they have. This counter-attacking situations, and you saw evidence of that speed, of that pace. I mean, again, it's come down the side of Adam Rifdi. And just gets caught out by the speed, fresh legs of Heikel Pasha. And there's an opportunity here for the Lion City Sailors to give Tampines a real knock in this one. If they haven't already, it's 4-0.
We had a 6-1, didn't we? Lion City Sailors meeting that out to the previous league leaders, Tanjung Pagar. Tampines Rovers would be one to just put some pressure. Andrew Au is coming on for Adam Rifti.
Yeah, so Lion City Sailors have just brought in Amirul Adli, 26-year-old Singapore international, in central defence for Pedro, and they brought in Kim Shin-hook. Everyone knows Kim Shin-hook, right? And on come 19-year-old Andrew Au. We're about to see Irfan Najib as well, 22-year-old coming on. Andrew placing Adam, and you do feel for Adam. I think first half he was very good, faded in the second.
It's going to be a change at centre-back. Ryan Sanizal is going to be replaced by Irfan Najib shortly. Kapitovic. Didn't really have too much looking for Mehmedovic there.
That's naughty from Yase.
And his international teammate, Hassan Sani.
Yeah, there was always going to be a free kick given to Hassan. Handshake between the two players as well.
So like-for-like change here. Two players who were involved with the SEA Games squad in Hanoi. What we've seen from Gavin is he has no hesitation in throwing the youngsters on, regardless of the situation.
Well, I mean, look, that's his squad. He's got a very young squad, so he doesn't have the options that Kim Do-hoon has on the bench to bring on, to have that sort of luxury.
I suppose particularly when 7 of the 9 are under 23.
Yeah. Even the players starting the game. I mean, Ryan Sanizal is 19 in central defense alongside Shuya Yamashita, who's 24.
Yeah, they had older, more experienced centre-back in Irfan.
And then they had an 18-year-old at right back in Adam Rifdi. Now they've got a 19-year-old at right back.
There is that danger, of course, that this could be a lot more. It's about 20 minutes, including some added time.
You know, you talk about 5 changes. That's something we spoke about earlier and spoke about previously.
Yeah, this was the big difference, isn't it?
Yeah.
Mehmedovic, will he keep that in? He does. Just about. No. In the end, it runs out, and it's just not their day. Sorry, Roshan, yeah, back to your point.
I'm not sure how it helps any of the other sides in the league.
What? Yeah.
The 5 substitution rule, because, okay, one argument is that it gives more fringe players an opportunity to get minutes, but the quality, the level of quality as well, especially when you're coming up against the Lion City Sailors.
A lot of squads have, we know, have got a good maybe
12,
11,
13.
Yeah, exactly.
14, and the Sailors have got a good, I don't know.
Yeah, here's Heiko Pasha. Did he get a touch on the ball first? Heiko is certainly giving his coach something to think about. Firdaus. Now Mark Tan. They have something to show for their efforts today. Nakamura. Mehmedovic. Don't think Nakamura quite expected that. Here's Song. Out wide to Lestienne. They're lining up here, aren't they, Kim Shin-wook?
It just doesn't look quite right, Kim Shin-wook. We haven't quite seen the best of him.
No.
And it's not just based on this and what happened just there.
Trying to reverse pass there, Mehmedovic to Kapitovic.
You know, at this stage, you start to think if Tampines should actually just sit back now.
Well,
instead of really conceding the 5 or 6 that they potentially could in the closing stages of this.
It's a fair point, and I was trying to allude to that with some of the changes being made, that you're putting on some very young players on now, where maybe perhaps you'd want to, again, I'd love to get the thoughts of Gavin on this, but you'd want to just contain the score.
I mean, they had, like I said, they had they had young players from the start in the starting lineup.
True.
So it's young players replacing younger players. it's just about fresh legs. You know, Adam just run out of steam, and Ryan as well. So fresh legs coming in, but I think just overall as a team shape, it's difficult to see Tampines coming back from this.
No, and
you know, so
I mean, if you're going to do it, you'd have to do it right now, pretty much.
Yeah, and you see what can happen if they open themselves up.
Yeah. So limit the damage?
I would think so. I'd start to think about that.
It was that second half period, wasn't it, when they scored 3 goals that just killed it off. Lion City Sailors. Excellent. Which makes you wonder probably what was said at half-time, though it was a bit of a sluggish start, wasn't it, to the second half. Here's Amirul. Cross to Lestienne. Shown too much of the ball, and then it's given away by Ao.
When they had Tampines some big moments going against them. Key chances not taken. Conceding an own goal.
Here's Kim Shin-hook. Opted to go back to Lestienne. Oh, he's pointed to the spot.
Has he given a goal? No, he's given a goal kick.
Oh, no, goal kick, right. I thought he pointed to the spot there.
Listen,
there wasn't a whistle, though, to be fair. But
I'm not sure what the referee is seeing. I thought that was a penalty.
Yeah. Well,
because he got himself into that position and he just gets barged over by Yamashita. That's a penalty. I wonder if the referee is feeling a bit of sympathy for Tampines. I mean, that is 100% a penalty.
Wow.
He's missed a few things, the official.
I thought for a second he pointed at the spot. Turned out to be a goal kick. They couldn't believe it, Lion City Sailors. Still at 4-0. And here comes the... Well, that's behind Mark Dunn. Disappointing ball. Yamashita. Yeah, very stretched, isn't it? Now, lots of space here for Diego. Oh, wide to Lestienne. It's too close to the keeper. You were talking about being more compact in these final few minutes.
Very open in the centre of the park at the moment. Tampines getting stretched. It's a bit of a...
It's a decent ball. Just runs away from Kapitovic.
Bit of attack versus defence right now. But Lion City Sailors, these counter-attacking situations.
Harris. Well, they're certainly not shirking away from challenges and trying to create something here. There's a foul by Al. Got about 10 minutes left. I mean, it would be something quite special from here.
Yeah, he was late to that. His teammates had pressed. He was just caught a little bit behind. Andrew out.
Cramps here for Noradam. They could bring on like a Nikram Rifki if they wanted to, if they felt that this was too much of a risk. Well, Tampines Rovers fans, the hardcore ones, are trying to do all they can here, but. And remember, we were talking, Roshan, about the context of this game, still having a game in hand and trying to narrow that gap with Lion City Sailors, who are just motoring along at the moment.
Yep.
Without being spectacular, but this was a good second half for them.
Good second half from the Sailors, yes. Collapse from Tampines, which we have seen from them at times last season and in certain situations this season as well. Offensively, can kind of let themselves go, be a little bit loose. But credit to the Sailors, much better second half showing. That change, you know, with Haikal Pasha coming off the bench has certainly made a huge impact.
Yeah.
Fresh legs, plenty of speed.
Irfan's done well here. He's still continuing. And he's kind of scuffed that one, isn't he? Kopitovic.
Yeah, it's good work from Irfan just to win the ball. But Kopitovic allowed to turn there because Amirul's concerned about the overlapping run of Irfan. That's why the space opened up for the shot. He didn't catch it well at all.
Here's Yasser. Out, but it's still alive here. He's in the way, Amirul, it will be a corner.
That's good play, good defending from Amirul. The first one just to step across and read the cutback from Kyoga Nakamura. And for the second one, putting his body in the way of that shot.
Final couple of changes now, and Anu is going to come on for Song Woo-young.
With number 7, Song Woo-young is being replaced by number 6.
And you'd imagine Ikram Rifki is going to replace Nur Adam. Well, that just locks things up, doesn't it, for Anu? Not that he needed that, with a 4-0 lead and 4 minutes remaining on the clock.
Oh, look, 2 more internationals coming on off the bench.
Substitution has been made by Lion City Sailors with number 66, Nur Adam Abdullah, who is being replaced by number 12, Ikram Rifki.
Good cameo there for those two. Oh, and that just trickles wide.
Wow.
Yamashita.
Even when Hassan does make a mistake, he misjudges the flight of that ball. He can't put the corner away. Open goal. Irfan it was, that full stretch. Just couldn't get enough control on the header, couldn't get up over it. Kind of almost maybe mistimed the jump perhaps, because it looks like the ball actually hits him rather than him going on to power that header into goal.
I suppose now with Anu and Shadan there, just pushes Diego perhaps a little further up. Nice little backheel from him. Again, look at Haikal, and that was a very ambitious effort from Ikram. Was he trying to?
No, I think it was a cross, but somehow turned into an ambitious effort.
Yeah.
It was an attempted cross.
But again,
looking
you saw
for Haikal. That's right.
It was a great. Again, he's busting a gut to make those runs, isn't he, Haikal?
Yeah.
They're still working at it here. Tampines Rovers, Nakamura. Too much to do on that one. Now generally, Roshan, in these sort of circumstances, the referee shows a bit of mercy towards the end, doesn't he? In terms of time added on.
Well, he showed mercy by not giving the penalty. Yeah, but let's see what we've got in terms of time added on at the end of this one. Oh, look at that. Can he keep this one in play?
Keep in. He's fast, but he's not that fast.
Chinook just overcooked it with that pass down the line for him.
We're into the final minute of play here. Now we're hearing it's only going to be 3 minutes, so a little bit small mercies, as they say.
Yeah, I think it's more for the stoppages with the substitutions.
Yeah. Trying to play this out now. We have hit the 90 minutes.
Nakamura, bit of space in the box. Yasse's actually gone down, clutching his face. Play continues. Shot from range there. Amirul just going wide.
Side of his eye.
There's the opportunity to set up for Amirul. I mean, straight arm into the face of Yasser.
The fourth official has indicated a minimum of 3 minutes of additional time.
We've had one of the 3 minutes. Well, they were deemed as perhaps one of the threats to the league challenger, title challenge from, to give a bit of a fight. And that's reckless from Yasser. Well, he sprinted over.
He sprinted over.
Malakasha.
Oh, Malakasha, sorry, yeah. I thought you were talking about Yasser sprinting over.
Well, he went over to Kim Do-hoon.
He went over to give him a kick. He sprinted over to give Diego a kick. And then Kim Do-hoon came charging out.
Yeah.
They have a good, I mean, this is a naughty one from Yasser. Yellow. I think Diego understands as well. What was funny was what happened after that. With Kim Do-hoon charging out.
Kim Do-hoon charged out, Amanakasa charged out, and then Yasser went over to have a word.
And then in a bit of a nice little hug between Kim Do-hoon and Yasser. That's good to see.
I did not expect to see.
No. I mean, Kim Do-hoon, I'm sure, has been in these situations, been there, done that, done worse perhaps.
Last bit of action, you'd think, now. Here's Diego. Oh, does so well, doesn't he? And the referee calls time on this match. They've sent a little statement out here, perhaps after the public statement of their coach. Kim Do-hoon, who wanted a reaction. He's certainly got it now. And it has been a good win here after a fairly placid first half. The only goal in that one was an own goal, but then Tampines Rovers kind of fell apart, and an excellent performance from Lion City Sailors in the second half that has turned it around for sure. 3 goals in the second half. Lestien was key to that. Heiko Pasha certainly made the difference. The final score here at our Tampines Hub, it's Tampines Rovers 0, Lion City Sailors 4.
Shazette, thank you very much indeed. So it's the champions who emerge comfortable victors here at our Tampines Hub, and they will leave this venue feeling that that is in some way a response to their coach and his strong words after a disappointing performance last time out. They stretched their lead at the top of the AIA Singapore Premier League table. Hassan Sunny, you saw just there, barely tested by Tampines Rovers. And this has ended in another chastening defeat at this venue for the home side. Roshan's just come skipping across from his commentary position there after an entertaining second half. At half-time it still looked in the balance, but let's work our way through the goals in this game, Roshan. And you got the sense that from the moment Lion City Sailors went in front, things just swung a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, this thing went again. A few things in key moments and situations that went against Tampines tonight. They had chances, they had opportunities, they didn't take them, and then they were punished by Lion City. I mean, this is just, to me, it's really unlucky. If you want to be hypercritical, you can say they should have stopped him out wider on the touchline there. A bit that first challenge from Irwan allows him to skip past him, and then the second one here with Nakamura allowing him to drive into the box. I mean, he's not looking for a shot there. He's just putting it into an area, essentially. He's looking for the run of Song. And at full stretch, Ryan just guides it past his own goalkeeper.
Well, that was Gabriel Kwak, who'd struggled at times to get involved in that first half. Now, this was a great substitution with Heiko Pasha on the pitch for the second half, operating in the right-hand side. Brilliant work. And then, unfortunately, Rifty just switching off by the looks of things on the far post.
I think that young man, 18 years of age, just got caught ball watching. He's looking at the ball as it comes across. He's put himself in a good position to actually get to the ball first. The approach play from Lion City Sailors was fantastic. This was a really, really good goal. If the first one that Tampines conceded was unlucky, this was excellent. Great work, Haikal making an impact. And Lestien, the key is the timing of that run. Yeah. On the blind side of Adam, who's watching the ball, not watching his man. Charges on into the direction of the cross off his blind side and puts it in the back of the net.
Yeah, it's tough on the young man, the defender. He had a good game by and large and has played well recently. But by this stage, they're a dangerous team. This is a beautifully worked goal, isn't it? From the pace on that to the ultimate delivery.
Again, really good play from Lion City Sailors. They go from right to left, and there's space. There's so much time and space for Lestien to pick out a cross. And the quality of the cross is excellent, because look at the weight of the cross, look at the position, look at where he puts the cross, right onto the head of Song, into that space where the run is being made. So that means Song doesn't have to break his stride. He can continue with the momentum, meet the cross that comes in, that's whipped in at really good pace. Wonderful quality on that delivery from Lestien, and that's a good goal.
Just time for one more. Heiko Pasha really will come out of this one with a lot of credit, this second half performance. And again, they were in behind. And it took a bit of finishing, but he was up to it.
Yeah, I mean, great pace, fresh legs, and again, it's come down that side of Adam, who had a really good first half, was just tiring towards the end of this game. Diego Lopez, he has time and space to turn, and this is where Tampines had really opened the game up and were chasing the game. And you always thought they were going to leave themselves open to the counter attack, and it proved that. The Sailors are very dangerous because they have so much speed in those wider positions, and they love exploiting these opportunities.
They are a scary side when they're already 3 or 4 goals up, and they can throw on the likes of Kim Shin-uk, and then we had the muscularity of Ikram Rifki and Anu coming on. That is a strong squad. I think the frustration today for Tampines was that at times they played good football. They looked as if they could have played another 90 minutes and not scored today one way or another. And Boris Kapitovic, well, he's had an outstanding season so far, but it wasn't to be his today. 2 or 3 chances or half chances at best for the number 9.
Yeah, he was kept quiet, and I don't think he was at his best here. One of the rare moments where he was actually able to find himself a little bit of space in the box, but even then the angle was sort of against him. Didn't quite have a desired impact. They did their research on him. They knew he was the man to watch. Tried to cut out the service into him, but even when the ball was able to arrive into Kapitovic, there were players close in and around him. Again, he's unfortunate here. I don't think the wall does a good enough job. Kapitovic with the free kick just comes back off the frame of the goal. And these were some of the moments, you know, that just went against Tampines Rovers. Good work from Irfan here in midfield to take the ball and then continue on his run, which then pulls Amirul away from Kapitovic. But the quality not quite there, and it just turned out to be one of those nights for Tampines Rovers and for Boris Kapitovic in particular.
One of those nights then, and we'll just take one last look at that before bringing you the stats from the game as a whole. And if we take a little look at this on the balance of the piece, you have to say, you can't argue that the away side have turned out and produced a very professional job here. 15 shots, 9 on target, whichever way you cut it away from home. That's an impressive evening's work.
Impressive evening's work. I think a much better second half. I think based on what they showed in the second 45, definitely deserved the win. I don't think they were that great in the first 45, Lion City Sailors, but credit to them. You know, second half they were outstanding. They took their opportunities, they took their chances, they were clinical in those counter-attacking moments, and that's part of what went for them in this game against Tampines Rovers.
So as I said at full time, they've stretched their lead out at the top of the AIA Singapore Premier League table, and there's no great surprise to see them up there. It's now a very healthy 9-point advantage. Tampines Rovers missing out a chance that could have seen them move into second place. And just quickly, Roshan, tell me this, you know, when this side of Gavin Lees plays well but doesn't get the result, and when they start going down 3-4, you do worry for them a little bit.
Yeah,
how do they bounce back from this?
I think they'll look at that table actually, and also look across the season and realize that 2 defeats this campaign, both have been to the Lion City Sailors. So they bounced back from that 1-0 the first time they met the Sailors, and they went on a good run. They were second going into the break in the league after the first round. And here I think they'll pick themselves up. They'll know they came up against a side with outstanding individual quality, but they also gave a good account of themselves. I think especially in the first half, a few things didn't go their way, didn't take their chances. I don't think it'll be too difficult for them to bounce back in the match.
Well, they made the champions play, and I think that's all we could have hoped for from this game today, really, and they got there in the end. Let's just remind you, we are not yet done with match week 10. We've seen victories then for Tanjong Pagar United and for Lion City Sailors, and 2 teams who could really do with a victory are back here at our Tampines hub tomorrow. Geylang International have had 4 losses in their last 5 games, and Hougang United have only picked up the 1 win in their last 5. Quickly, prediction for that one. They both need the win to either get it.
It's looking like that one's going to end up in a draw. International against 2 sides really struggling for any sort of form and momentum at the moment. I mean, Geylang don't create too many opportunities. Hougang a little bit loose at the back as well. So I don't know. I could see a draw in that one. But again, I've been doing these caveats all night in my commentary, right? I'm terrible at predictions, so you know, don't go to the bank with that.
Oh no, we won't worry about that too much. All right then. Well, Roshan, I'm indebted to you for everything you've brought tonight, both here and on commentary. I hope you've enjoyed our coverage of a game that we said had a lot of importance riding on it, which we believed would be a highly entertaining one, and I think we were probably right on both counts. All right, so that's it. We'll be back with more great AIA Singapore Premier League football tomorrow. For now, though, from Rish, Rosh and Ryan, myself, thanks for joining us. See you soon.